And he really simplified. If they won the first week, added a little more and won the second week, and he said now in the third week, he said we're going to add some more offense, put a little more on Jeff Kent. And he says he's capable of it, and he's ready to do it.
And we'll have our first look at the Atlanta offense because they've won the toss and elected to receive, and Mike Lansford will kick off for the Los Angeles Rams, who have moved down the freeways from their longtime home at the Los Angeles Coliseum to the Anaheim Stadium. The Falcons have never won a game here in Southern California. Their record is 0-14 and 2 ties. Rodney Tate and Willie Curran go back deep for the men in white. The Falcons, of course, in their road uniforms. Willie Curran is number 89. Lansford ready to kick off from the 35. A late arriving crowd into the stadium which seats almost 70,000. Line drive kickoff to Rodney Tate. Lets it go out of bounds, and Lansford will bring it back and kick it off from the 30-yard line this time.
You know, one thing, Pat, talking about Steve Bartkowski and being sick and missing practice on Saturday and so on, I've seen a lot of quarterbacks have great days after being sick.
Sometimes it's like, well, they say about playing golf. You play better when you're tired because you don't try to overdo things. And maybe that's the case with a quarterback. There's Bart.
And you don't have a lot of time for anxiety. You know, you're worrying more about getting well than you are about the other team, and sometimes that's not a bad deal.
You know, John Robinson was telling us yesterday when we talked with him about what happened to them on the opening kickoff last week. You look down at the Atlanta returners now, Rodney Tate and Willie Curran, they are looking into a very bright sun.
Yeah, what happened on the opening kickoff, the Giants kicked off to the Rams. The returner couldn't find the ball. The Giants ran down and jumped on it in the end zone for a touchdown, and they were down 6-0 with something like 20 seconds left.
9 seconds. As quickly as it could be done, it was done. Here's Rodney Tate. He fumbles the ball. The ball goes back to about the goal line. He can't find the handle, and now Rodney Tate comes out to the 10-yard line. So the Rams, Sean Miller is down to make the hit, and they turn misfortune into fortune. Let's check the lineups now, first of all, for the Atlanta Falcons. The backs and receivers, Bartkowski, Lynn Kane, the runner. The H-back is Cliff Benson, Stacy Bailey, and Alfred Jackson, the wide receiver. Up front, Arthur Cox is the tight end. Ken Thielman, Van Note, John Scully, and Brett Miller. The offensive line. 1st and 10 from the 10. Kane, the runner. Kane for about 5, maybe 6 before Reggie Doss tripped him up. That kind of first down situation is what concerns John Robinson very much. The defense, Youngblood, Meisner, and Reggie Doss. The 3 up front. The linebackers, Owens, Eckern, Collins, and George Andrews. Secondary is Gary Green and Leroy Irvin, Eric Harris, and Nolan Cromwell, the safeties. It's a good defensive unit. 2nd and 5. From the 15. About a yard shy of a first down, and his safety man Nolan Cromwell made the hit.
You know, Lynn Kane, of course, played football out here in college. He went to USC and played for John Robinson. And I know John Robinson has a lot of respect for Lynn Kane because when he was coaching him at SC, he called me up and says, look, when the draft comes up, he said, I got the guy for you, Lynn Kane. He's your type of back. He's a Raider type back. And right after that, I retired. I never got him.
So the Falcons got him. 3rd down and 1. It'll be Kane. It's going to be close. I don't think he has quite enough for the first down. The Ram defense converged quickly.
Well, I think that's where the Falcons are going to miss. Obviously, they missed William Andrews in that situation. I think they're going to miss Gerald Riggs because this is the type of thing that I was talking about. You see, you don't have that big back in there. You know, that big back to get you your short yardage. This is Cliff Austin here that they brought in to go for it. But when you don't have the Riggs or you don't have the Andrews to get that big first down for you, it's a different game. You have to rely more on the passing.
There was number 85, Jack Youngblood, who recovered, got off his block, and stopped Cliff Austin in the hole. This is Henry Eller. Giacomaro's kick chases him all the way back to his own 23, and Eller, who returned one for a touchdown last week, very nearly broke that one. Now let's check the Ram offensive lineup. The quarterback is number 9, Jeff Kemp. Eric Dickerson, as the Rams 2 go with just one running back. Mike Gooman is the U-back. The wide receivers, Drew Hill and Henry Eller. Up front, it's David Hill at tight end. Bain, Kent Hill, Doug Smith, Dennis Hara, and Jackie Slater. A big, good veteran offensive line. It's a 57-yard punt, by the way, by Giacomaro. Drew Hill down at the bottom of your picture, split wide to the left. Eller wide to the right. That's Gooman in motion. This is Eric Dickerson. Dickerson got about 5 around the corner. The Rams are a sweeping team. They run that most of the time. Bobby Butler, the cornerback, made the initial hit. Falcon defense, 4-man front. Pitts, Benish, Bryan, and Don Smith at right end. The linebackers, Rady, Curry, and Al Richardson. And the secondary, Butler and Britt, the cornerbacks. Kenny Johnson and Tom Pridemore, the safety. 4-yard gain for Dickerson. It's 2nd and 6 from the Ram 40. Dickerson. Dennis Hara had pulled. John Rady made the stop on Eric Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson ran away from his pulling guard that time. Usually those running backs like at Dickerson, they like to get right in the hip pocket of that guard, but he cut back away from Hara on that play. Let's see if we can watch it. Now watch him. He's going to start here. We see the left guard pull. You see, he started to follow him, and then he cut right back in. He didn't have any blockers back there.
That's rare for him to make that mistake in judgment like that. He's such a great runner.
That'll clean out the sinuses.
Kemp is back to throw. And throws complete to Drew Hill. It'll be a Ram first down. Good throw by Kemp. James Britt, the defender, 11-yard gain.
See that? All the rushers just ran right by Kemp, and he was standing up there. He could have run for that first one, but let's watch Drew Hill. He's going to start up, and then he's just going to sit down. Just hook, work back a little and to the outside, and pick up that first down. You know that Jeff Kemp isn't a tall guy. He's only about 6 foot, but he does have a strong arm. He's not a little guy with a weak arm.
He can really zip it. As John Robinson said yesterday, every throw is like a 2-iron shot. Kemp is back to throw. Whips it over the head of David Hill. That one got away from him a little bit.
I think he wasn't really ready to go to Hill, and he had to change his feet. He didn't get his feet turned out to the left soon enough, but one thing here that the Rams are establishing now is pass protection. That's 2 passes, and Kemp has had time on both of them. Let's watch your protection here. Now, that's one thing that this Ram offensive line can do. They're big guys, big, strong guys. You see Kemp, can see he can step up. He has a lot of time. You see, he really didn't want to throw to the left, and he didn't get shifted over to that side.
So that'll make it 2nd and 10. The line of scrimmage is the Falcon 46. The pitch is back to Dickerson. Dickerson dips inside, steps away from a couple of tacklers, and loses 2 as Kenny Johnson comes up to make the hit.
That was a good move, I think, for the Atlanta Falcons. Kenny Johnson had been a cornerback. The cornerback has to play out there in the wide receivers. You need a lot more speed. And Johnson was one of those guys who was a real tough corner. So they moved him into strong safety. And there you don't have to be as fast because you don't have to cover those fast wide receivers. And then you can use your hitting and tackling ability more.
And he has an abundance of that. 3rd and 12 for the Rams. Jeff Kemp, the quarterback. No score as yet. Henry Eller circled in motion. Kemp chased out of the pocket and still chased. And chased. And now Jeff Kemp down the sideline. First down and more. Kemp still on his feet to the 25 and out of bounds inside the 25 by Bobby Butler.
That's the thing that Jeff Kemp gives the Rams, you know, and that's the thing. When you have an inexperienced quarterback, if he can't find someone open, if he can move a little, get himself out of trouble. See, he was in trouble. Now he ran away from it. Now got up the sideline. Now watch this little move there. He fakes to the inside, back out to the outside, and up the field for the first down.
He is an athlete. That does not surprise Dan Henning that Jeff Kemp can do things like that. Tell you more about that in a minute. First down Rams, they give to Dickerson. Dickerson skips and skates and gets down close to the 20. Tom Pridemore led the Atlanta defense that swarmed on him finally. Dan Henning said when he was working for the Dolphins down with Don Shula that David Shula, the coach's son, who was a very close friend of Jeff Kemp, would bring him to practice, and he knew of the ability of Jeff Kemp.
Right, he had worked with Kemp, and the thing he said that he was impressed. I think when you see a guy that's 6 foot, you think that he's more of a a scatter-armed, a scrambling guy. And he said the thing that he was impressed with how he could fire that ball.
Dwayne Crutchfield is now in the backfield. This is Crutchfield down to the 10. Tom Pridemore made the stop. A surprise and very happy acquisition by the Rams has been this man who was let go by the Jets last year.
Well, I'll tell you, they talk about guys that are loads, and they're usually talking about linemen and stuff, but this guy Crutchfield, he weighs about 255 pounds. Look at the body and the legs on him. And then when he gets in that Ram backfield, everyone is so concerned with Dickerson that when you give the ball to Crutchfield, there's no one watching him. And you have to really put the tackle on him.
It is a 1st and goal from the 10 situation. Jeff Kemp a little unsure of the situation. And so he takes a Ram timeout. That'll cut them down to 2 in the first half. It is 0-0 with 7:25 left to play in the first quarter. Atlanta nothing, the Rams nothing. Pat Summerall, John Madden at Anaheim Stadium, where the Rams have it 1st and goal at the 10, right at the 10-yard line.
This is what it looks like if you were grass in the end zone. Or dirt. Like if you were a piece of grass. Yeah, you're a hunk of dirt or something like that. You'd think, geez, I used to be an infield. Now I'm a goal line.
That's the outfield warning track. The dirt that you can see in the background of your picture. Jeff Kemp calling the signals, and this is Eric Dickerson lunging to about the 7. Pickup of 3 perhaps. Rick Bryan made the stop. Let's check out some of the final scores around the NFL. The New York Jets beat Kansas City 17-16. Jet record now is 4-2. Washington 35, Indianapolis 7. Washington also 4-2 and looking forward to playing the Cowboys in Washington next week. New England 17, Cleveland 16. That's the final. New England is now 4-2 and Cleveland 1-5. 2nd and goal from the 7 here at Anaheim Stadium. Kemp back to Dickerson. Dickerson inside the 5 to about the 1. Kenny Johnson made the hit, but Dickerson is so big and so strong. As I'm sure you know, Chicago Bears beat the New Orleans Saints 20-7 to improve their record to 4-2, but Walter Payton has broken the record held so long by Jim Brown. He picked up 154 yards today in 32 carries. So the new all-time rushing record holder is Walter Payton of the Chicago Bears. Miami 31, Pittsburgh 7. Another hot day for Dan Marino. Al Richardson limping off the field for the Atlanta Falcons. That'll be a big loss if he can't come back. This is the 11th play coming up in this drive. The Cardinals have beaten the Dallas Cowboys 31-20. Of interest is the fact that Danny White came in after the Cowboys got down 31-13 and took them on a 94-yard touchdown drive. So it'll be interesting to see who is the quarterback next week against the Redskins. 3rd and goal from the 1 here. David Fry has replaced Richardson. It's Crutchfield and Dickerson in the backfield for the Rams. That's Dwayne Crutchfield hit and held shy of a touchdown by Fulton Kuykendall. Captain Crazy.
Well, the Ram fans want the Rams to go for it. I don't like that kind of play. They put Dickerson away like an influence and gave it to Crutchfield. I think a better play would have been let Crutchfield lead in there as a blocker to Dickerson. But watch this play. See, you lose a blocker. Now watch, in the I formation, Dickerson goes left. Now they hand it to Crutchfield without a lead blocker. I would think they're going to go for it on 4th down. I would think if you're going to do that, take your big running back and let him lead through and give it to your best back.
And I think that's probably what you'll get this time. Dickerson is deep. Crutchfield is lined up in front of him. They give it to Crutchfield. He tries to go over the top, and I don't think he got in. No indication yet. I don't believe he made it. No, he didn't. I know John Robinson's a friend of yours. Maybe next time we see him.
I know he's a friend of mine, but, you know, when you have a guy like Dickerson, he's a big, strong back, and you use this guy Crutchfield to run. Now, what they did is you see, they just tried to get him with that dive, but no one got on the linebackers, so the linebackers, as Crutchfield was diving, could come from the other side and dive.
They not only stopped him, they tore the name off his back. The Rams had the ball 12 plays, kept it 7 minutes, 18 seconds, came up empty. Remember, they had 3 safeties last week against the Giants. Set a record. Lynn Kane. A little breathing room out to about the 5. Nolan Cromwell was stopped, John.
I tell you, in that 4th down play, watch these two guys. Here's Kuykendall right here, Captain Crazy. Here's Curry. Now, no one gets to them, so as Crutchfield comes in, as he jumps, they jump and meet him right here. Now watch it. See, you try and get someone on those linebackers so they can't jump. Now watch him. He goes to jump, boom, whap, right there and back. And then to add insult to injury, they grabbed his name right off the jersey. That's what it looked like from Curry's position. See, he said, he dives, I dive.
2nd and 6. Kane out to about the 8. Mel Owen, number 58, on the bottom of the pile that made the stop on Lynn Kane. Got a big load to carry today, Lynn Kane. He's not as big or as strong as Gerald Riggs or William Andrews, as John Madden pointed out in his opening remarks, but he is nevertheless a very good back.
And he's one of those guys who can do the tough things too. I mean, he's not a fancy back. He'll pound it in there for you, and he'll do those tough things.
3rd and 2. Bartkowski has yet to throw. He gives it to Kane again. Not a first down, I don't think. He's close. Jim Collins on the bottom of the pile, number 50. Owens there, too, along with Eckern. It is a first down. Kane got enough. R.C. Thielman. And take a look at the hand.
That right hand, he has a broken finger. Then they had to put a cast that made a fist for him. Then they put a thing like a catcher's mitt over there with air in between the cast and the outside padding. Now, you have to be big and strong to carry that thing. I mean, a lot of guys, you'd have something like that in your right hand, you'd tip over. If you're walking, whap, you'd fall on your right shoulder or something.
That hand looks like a wasp nest. Look at that. Looks like something you ought to put in your fireplace. This is Lynn Kane, out to about the 18-yard line. Gary Green on the stop, along with Jim Collins. 8-yard gain. Falcons started about as close to the goal line as you can get this possession. They've gotten some breathing room.
Well, talking about Thielman there and playing the left guard, it's not an advantage to have that big thing in your hand in any case, but if you're going to have it, if you're playing left guard, it's better to have it on your right hand, because for pass protection, most pass rushers go to your outside, and you can use your left hand.
He looks like he's ready for highlight. Kane looking for someplace to go, can't find it. Mel Owen held his ground, didn't overrun things, and made the stop on Lynn Kane. He had no place to go, and Bartkowski will probably have to put it up now.
I think that Dan Henning was a little surprised that Gerald Riggs wasn't ready. He got hurt on the last play of the game against the 49ers last week, and early in the week he didn't practice, but Dan thought he'd be okay later in the week. They kept going later, and he still wasn't okay. He didn't practice yesterday, and of course he can't go today.
The Falcons will go on 3rd and 1. Bartkowski does indeed go back to throw. Looks right, looks left. The receiver is on the ground. The intended receiver was Stacy Bailey. Number 87 was another intended receiver, Cliff Benson, and he fell down. So Giacomarro will have to come on.
I'll tell you, that was good coverage by the Ram corners, Gary Green and Leroy Irvin. He wanted to go outside first, then had to come back, but the two corners had excellent coverage in the outside receivers.
The word on Al Richardson, the linebacker, is that he has a sprained ankle and will not return. He's out for the rest of the day. Here's Giacomaro. This one doesn't quite turn over. Henry Ellard at his own 41. He is dangerous. Ellard breaks away from a couple. Almost got away from the pack and gets it back to the Ram 47 before Willie Curran makes the stop. It is still 0-0 with a minute and 32 seconds left to play in the first quarter at Anaheim Stadium. Pat Summerall, John Madden, Anaheim Stadium, 0-0. Atlanta and the Rams. Rams have the ball with Jeff Kemp, the son of the congressman, at quarterback. Eric Dickerson is the lone setback. Bill Bain, the monstrous left tackle of the Los Angeles Rams, jumped offside. That is a word that would apply to him, don't you think?
You know, Bill Bain, you talk about big, and as John Robinson was saying, every year big changes. Well, Bill Bain is about 315 pounds worth of big. And we saw him out there in his short. He's not fat. I mean, he is 350 pounds worth of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say muscle.
Not fat. Bulk. Dickerson, right side. It was 1st and 15 when he made that attempt. John Rady on the bottom of the pile. Final score, the Buccaneers even their record at 3-3, beating Minnesota 35-31. Minnesota's record now drops to 2-4. Denver beat Detroit 28-7. Denver, of course, tied with the Raiders and Seattle for first place in the AFC West. And those two meet about 60 miles up the road at the same time as this game goes on. 7-7 between Green Bay and San Diego. Ellard was the man in motion. This is Kemp back to throw. Caught and dropped and now said to be incomplete. Henry Ellard, the intended receiver, hit by Tom Pridemore, who jarred it loose.
That's one thing about the Rams. They're trying to get speed at their receivers, and that's why they traded Preston Denard in the offseason. But they have Henry Ellard and Drew Hill now, and they only weigh about 155, 160 pounds. But the guy they're going to eventually get in there is Ron Brown. And, of course, he's the speedster who was in the Olympics this year.
John Robinson said yesterday his speed, Brown's speed, is just, well, it just scares you. Kemp back to throw. And throwing deep. Overthrowing Ron Brown, of whom we just spoke. That's hard to do.
That's one of those things you're supposed to say, don't worry, you can't overthrow him. Just get it out there. Any place you get it, Ron Brown will go get it. Heck, he's in the Olympics. He's one of the fastest men in the world. But I think Jeff Kemp threw one of those 2-irons you were talking about.
I think so. John Misko is in to punt for the Rams, and Billy White Shoes Johnson back deep for the Atlanta Falcons. He is about to set an all-time NFL record. High kick by Misko. Johnson looking up into that sun. No fair catch, no shake loose. The Rams are down in a hurry. Vince Newsom was the first man down to make the hit. Misko very happy about things, and well, he should be. The Falcons again will start from deep in their own territory with a score tied 0-0. There's big Gerald Riggs out with a sprained ankle, second in the NFL rushing with 619 yards going into today. Lynn Kane has had to take his place. He's done well so far. Bartkowski gets it out to Kane. He's got a blocker in front of him. Kane to about the 15. Meisner was out there, missed the shot on him. This is Dan Henning. I wonder if he's got defense in his left ear. He's got offense in his right ear.
Probably, and then someone just tell him about the special teams. There's the old signals. Look at that. Now, that has to be a pass. Wouldn't you think?
I would think so, that long. That's the end of the first quarter, so we'll find out from the other end. As at Anaheim Stadium, the first quarter comes to a close with the score of the Atlanta Falcons 0, the Los Angeles Rams 0.
To see, drive, and live today's Chevrolet. Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by Sony with Trinitron, Betamax, Walkman, and compact disc players. Sony, the one and only.
Second and 4. Falcons have the ball their own 15-yard line. No scores. Steve Bartkowski, the quarterback. Arthur Cox goes in motion. Lynn Kane over the right side for a couple. Greg Meisner underneath the bottom of the pile, the nose man, number 69.
I think this is going to be one of the problems that the Falcons are going to have today. I don't think they can keep doing this all day, just relying on Lynn Kane to run the ball. I mean, I think eventually they have to get it to the outside. They have to get more into a passing game. Now, maybe Bartkowski isn't as strong as we think we are, because there's some reason that they're not throwing the ball.
Third and 4, they have to throw now. Rams go now with 5 defensive backs. They leave 3 linebackers in the game, and one of them usually comes, and they do this time. Outside it goes. Stacey Bailey gets the reception from Bartkowski. Single coverage out there, and Bailey is tough.
Well, you know, he's not very big to be tough. He only weighs about 155 pounds. Watch him here on the outside. Now, he knows where he has to go for a first down. He just runs up like he's going deep, stops, and works back to the ball. You know, Dan Henning was telling us last night that they measure the fat content of these guys, and, you know, and some guys are 10%, 12%, anything under 16. Stacey Bailey was 2-point-something%. That's skinny.
That's almost unbelievable. I believe it. But it's hard to. That was White Shoes Johnson in motion. Here's Bartkowski. He can throw deep, and he's got Stacey Bailey wide open. Bailey down to the Rams 30, 31-yard line. Eric Harris finally made the tackle. How did he get so wide open?
I think they had a drop of coverage on that. Leroy Irvin is on him. Now watch, he's number 47. He comes up and bumps him. Now he looks into the backfield. Now the safety is supposed to get over. The safety, you see him coming here fully. He doesn't get over. That was Eric Harris. And by the time he got over, there was a great big hole in there.
44-yard gain for Atlanta.
I'll tell you, the Falcons had good pass protection on that one. Now watch him on Reggie Doss here. He's going to the inside. Thielman can get him with that big plug. See, he stuck that big thing in there, helped him in pass protection that time.
Here is Lynn Kane, touchdown. 31 yards away, and Lynn Kane, they influenced the nose man. They blocked away from him. He went with the pressure, and Kane went for the daylight.
Well, they brought that H-back in motion. He came back to the inside and trapped, and Lynn Kane ran like an X pattern against that H-back block, if that makes sense. Let's watch it here.
It will when you draw it.
Okay, now the H-back comes in here, you see, and he blocks there in the nose tackle. Kane counters that block, goes back to the left, slashes through and into the end zone.
Mick Luckhurst. Morosky holding. Will try for the extra point. 91 yards in 5 plays they went. Kept the ball 2 minutes, 14 seconds, and the Falcons go on top. Luckhurst left foots it. It's 7-0. Second quarter.
Is good.
Very impressive drive by the Atlanta Falcons, and they lead the Rams 7-0 in the second quarter. We have 13-16 left until the half. Pat Summerall, John Madden. We're at Anaheim Stadium, the home of the Los Angeles Rams, but now the Atlanta Falcons own it on the legs of Lynn Kane, who just went 31 yards for that touchdown. That's his first of the year. Luckhurst kicking off in the direction of Barry Ridden and kicks it out of bounds, and they'll do that from the 30. Let's go back and look at that touchdown.
Let's watch this. Now here's the thing. Now watch the left tackle here. That's Mike Kent. Here's Thielman. But look at the big splits that they take in here. So they have a hole made already. And they can come off and get good blocks. That's where Lynn Kane is going to run. Here, the H-back comes in motion. He gets a trap right here. Good block. But see, they start with those big wide splits. See, between the left guard and the left tackle. Now watch right here. Here's the block by the nose tackle. Now here's Thielman here. Here's Ken here. They drive out, drive in, and whap, look at that thing right there. then just slice right through there. Now he's into the secondary, and shortly he'll be into the end zone. But that was a good play, but it started with those wide line splits.
And that's one of the things that John Robinson told us yesterday he was worried about, concerned about.
He said he was concerned. He said they take those big splits between the left guard and the left tackle. They create a hole there. You have to line up on the guys, and he was afraid of Riggs like picking up 6 yards in that hole.
Instead, Kane got 31. Here's Luckhurst from the 30. Hangs it in the direction of Barry Redden and takes it as his own 4. Jumps over one tackler, stays on his feet outside the 20. Down at the 22, Scott Case. So the Falcons are very high on as far as the future. So the Rams will take over at their own 23-yard line. In the quiet at the moment of Anaheim Stadium, where the Falcons have just gotten on the scoreboard and lead the Rams 7-0. Rams have the ball their own 23-yard line. 13 minutes left to play in the first half with the Falcons leading 7-0. First and 10 from their own 23 for the Los Angeles Rams. Mike Barber and David Hill both in the game, so they go with a 2 tight end offense as Jackie Slater takes a move too early. Next week, here on CBS, another slate of, well, every game, every week seems to be an outstanding week. The Giants take on the Falcons in Atlanta. The Rams against New Orleans in New Orleans. The second half of the CBS doubleheader features the Dallas Cowboys, whose record is now 4-2, against the Washington Redskins, who are also 4-2 at RFK. It all starts with the NFL today. John Madden and I will be in Washington next week. That's always one you look forward to. Pitches back to Dickerson. Dickerson cuts back over the left side. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage to pick up a 5 before Kenny Johnson takes him down.
You know, if I were Dickerson on that last play, I would have followed my big tackle, Bill Bain, out there. Bain got around that corner and got a pretty good block, and Dickerson decided to cut it off or cut it away from him. Let's see if we can watch it. Now watch Bill Bain. He's 62. Now watch him. He starts to the outside. Dickerson will be in there behind him. You see, now if he had just kept coming to the outside, he could have gotten out there. You see that block up there? But he decided to cut back where all the guys were.
Here's Dickerson on a play they had high hopes for. Dickerson cuts back over the 25. James Britt made the stop. Dickerson, you forget until you get at a practice as we were yesterday and see how big he is.
Well, you know, he's 6'3", and that's pretty tall for a running back. And he must weigh about 225 pounds, really. I mean, they have him as 220, but he's about 225. But in shorts yesterday, you could tell he wasn't taking the practice too seriously. He was wearing sunglasses and his watch. I guess that didn't mean you do much the day before the game, huh?
9 carries already. Dickerson slips, trying to go over the right side. Kenny Johnson.
You know, when Eric Dickerson first came to the Rams a year ago, that was a problem that he had. He was slipping all the time, and and the coaches said what he was doing is planting off his right foot.
Penalty marker down. Way on the other side of the field. We'll have to wait and see what it's for. In the meantime, for baseball fans, and who isn't these days, the Chicago Cubs have taken a 2-0 lead over San Diego. Leon Durham, a 2-run home run, top of the first.
There's John Robinson. He's telling them what he wants them to do.
Delay of game, 12 men on the field, 3rd down.
Yeah, you can't do that. That makes it a little easier, but if they're counting, you know, that deep official there, he counts the defensive players on every down. So you can't get them. If you keep them in there too long, you can't do it. If you just run one in there just before the play starts, sometimes you can get it down. But see, that guy, he's back there and he's counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
And he does it, as you say, on every down.
Right.
So it's 3rd and short now. And Jeff Kemp goes back to throw. Jeff Kemp gets it out complete for a first down to George Farmer.
I think there in that last pass, I think you can see the strength of Kemp's arm. You know, I mean, that ball was zipped out there to Farmer. You know, he does have a pretty good right arm. His right arm, we saw it yesterday in practice, is really bigger than his left arm. And he has a pretty good forearm there, and you can even see the strength in it.
I played with his father with the Giants, and it's amazing, his mannerisms, his voice even, and the way he throws, just like his father.
36-yard line. Jeff Kemp, the quarterback.
Crutchfield in the backfield with Dickerson. The handoff is over the left side to Dickerson for 2 or 3. Roy Harris came up to make the stop.
You see that Atlanta defense? That's what you call a swarm. Look at that. There were 10 guys in on that play. Look at all those white jerseys. Heck, it takes them a couple minutes to ungroup all that deal. Watch this now. Watch the play. Dickerson, they all key on him. Crutchfield leads. Now look at them as they start. They hold him up. Well, here they come. Here they come. The only guy in there is 65. Jeff Smith was the only guy that didn't get in there. Don Smith, I mean. Look, he's looking at it. He said, well, those guys hitting hard. My guys are good today.
2nd and 8. Line of scrimmage. Ram 38. Jeff Kemp back to throw. Henry Ellard, the intended receiver. That ball got there in a hurry.
He got there in a hurry, and Jeff Kemp was upset with himself because he knew that he had him, and he threw it a little inside. Now watch Ellard here. He's coming off. It's against a zone defense. You see, he gets the turn. He gets the hole in there. The defender on that play fell down. That was Bobby Butler. He fell down, and the ball was thrown outside of Ellard.
So it'll be 3rd down from the same spot, the Ram 38.
May have been man-to-man coverage, but when a guy falls down, it looks like zone.
Dickerson is out, and Barry Redden is in. Falcons on the blitz. He gets rid of the ball to Henry Ellard, to Barry Redden, I beg your pardon. It's shy of the 1st down. Kemp did some job to get the ball out there at all.
Well, you know, you wonder how Jeff Kemp could even see out there on that play. Of course, it wasn't enough for the 1st down. I think we see Jeff Kemp there. He's upset. He's not upset about that one. He's upset about that bad ball that he threw to Ellard when Bobby Butler fell down and Ellard was wide open. Doggone, it's tough enough in this league, but when a defensive back falls down and your guy's wide open, you got to get the ball.
Misko is back to kick, and Billy White Shoes Johnson will have a chance on this one if he can get up to it. White Shoes to the 36. Mike Truman makes the stop. 32-yard punt, a 12-yard return, so it nets only 20. The Falcons take over in the best shape they've had in a long time. They already lead 7-0. Pat Summerall, John Madden, Atlanta 7, Los Angeles Rams nothing. Anaheim Stadium, 9:44 left to play in the 1st half. Falcons have the ball, their own 36. Steve Bartkowski, the quarterback. Lynn Kane behind him. Arthur Cox is in motion. Bartkowski quickly out to Kane. He's got blockers in front of him. Kane to about the 39. Charles DeJournay made the hit. See what happened? It can be dangerous on that sideline, John. What happened to John Robinson?
Well, you know, the first thing a coach has to know is you can't let guys get to your legs. You see, when you're standing there in the sideline, boom, get that arm up there, shiver him. Watch John. He had his hands up. Boom, 2 guys get to his legs, he's down.
Coach is down.
Coach is down, but when you get down, you got to bounce up and get right. Okay, that's it. He's back up.
Didn't even mess up his hair.
Nah, he can go.
2nd down, 7.
We'll give you a full 60.
Thing about a good coach, he gets up in a hurry. Bartkowski to Kane. Kane to about the 41. It'll be 3rd down and about 4. Jim Collins tripped him up. Kane has a 31-yard touchdown run, his only TD this year in the NFL. And the Falcons lead by that margin, 7-0. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Rams and the National Football League is prohibited. 3rd down and 5. Bartkowski. Stacey Bailey. On enough for a first down, and they move into Ram territory. Nolan Cromwell, the defender, a gain of 15.
Watch Bailey out here. Now he's coming up. Now he sees that at the zone. You see the two guys are coming inside out, and instead of going and letting them get him inside out, he just stopped, and where he picks up the advantage is by working back to the quarterback.
Bartkowski 6 out of 7 for 87 yards. First down, Falcons. Ram 44. Kane gets to the outside, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and is stifled right there by Jim Collins, the first blue jersey to apply the paint.
The one thing about Len Kane, he's always been a tough guy, and I think he's going to have to prove that he is today. I think we all know that. At one time, he was a starting halfback. William Andrews was a fullback, and then when Dan Henning came in and went to a one-back offense, it was just Andrews, and then behind him was Riggs. So what happened to Len Kane is he ended up really as a third-string guy and just playing special teams, and now he's getting back again.
And he's pretty good third stringer. Bailey was the man in motion. This is Kane hammering straight ahead to about the 41. Collins again made the hit. The NFC's Defensive Player of the Week last week. Atlanta Falcons offense. 19 plays, 12 rushes, 3 receptions, all 3 by Stacey Bailey.
Look at Len Kane. You know, I mean, I think maybe they made up their game plan, and they really thought that Gerald Riggs was going to play. And I think Kane has taken Riggs' place in more ways than one. I think they were going to try and beat the Rams today with Gerald Riggs. He couldn't play. They said, okay, we'll just do it with Len Kane.
3rd and 7, and Bartkowski, if he has time, will have to go again. Chased out of the pocket. Bailey. Again, a Falcon first down. No penalty markers anywhere. I heard a whistle, but no flag. Eric Harris, the defender.
That was a play that Dan Henning brought, that dash where the quarterback dashes or rolls out, and he comes out. Now, again, this is a pretty good pattern here because Stacey Bailey made the defensive back, Eric Harris, think he was going deep, push him deep, and then he worked back to the outside.
That was a Biletnikoff move.
Right. Now, you see, here's that dash. You see, they try and invite the whole defensive team to the inside and get Bartkowski outside. Before Dan Henning came, that was really never a big part of Atlanta's offense, him running anyway.
Something he brought from Washington with him. Theismann does it well. Here's Kane. Straight ahead, spinning inside the 30 to about the 28. Reggie Doss was the first Ram to make contact.
There's Big Jack Youngblood, number 85. They thought that when John Robinson came here and switched to a 3-man line that Jack Youngblood wouldn't be as efficient. And if anything, he's more efficient. Even looks younger. Playing his, look at those arms. And if I had arms like that, I'd just walk around with my shirt off all the time, looking in mirrors and stuff, standing on beaches.
The uniform is full. Here's Bartkowski, chased by Youngblood, gets away from him first. Youngblood, and then Mel Owens, 85 and 58, applied the heat.
One thing about Youngblood, he's a very active guy. You see what he does? He takes an inside there on Brett Miller, takes the inside, forces Bartkowski to the outside, then he goes to the outside, and of course he gets some help from Mel Owens there. But he's always been an active guy. You know, he'll give you that thing, he'll go into you, he'll go outside, inside, but he's always been able to make those quick turns on the run.
One of those guys who likes to hunt, likes Western clothes, owns a ranch.
You drive a pickup.
Got a couple of guns.
Yep, cowboy cap on or just a baseball cap on, chewing tobacco.
Oh, yeah. Here's Len Kane cutting back and spinning inside the 30. Vince Newsom made the hit. Collins again helped.
You know, an interesting battle here, Pat, is the battle between Len Kane and the Ram defense. 90 degrees out there. Which one will wear down first?
That's going to be a toss-up, I think. Len Kane has certainly got something to prove, and the Rams have been playing excellent defense of late. Got 3 safeties, as I mentioned before, against the Giants last week. Luckhurst, 6 out of 7 in his attempts on the year. This one's from 47 yards out. He is hit from 51. Morosky holding. Plenty long enough, but there's a flag down back in the end zone. And the penalty will be against Atlanta.
Delay of game. The clock ran out before the snap. 4th down.
Too much time, 4th down. Now let's see what he decides.
It looks like Dan Henning has decided just let him kick it again, but that is a tough one. You know, the 30-second clock is up there. The kicker can usually see it, but it's a tough decision for him. Does he rush the kick when he sees the clock, or does he just keep his normal tempo to make sure he kicks it?
Well, he'll have a kick at it from 52 yards this time, and again he's going to have the distance. Yes, sir. That's his longest of the year. He had hit from 51. That was from a little bit over 52 with a lot of room to spare. And Atlanta leads now 10-0 over the Rams in the second quarter. 3:05 left to play in the first half. Mick Luckhurst, who just hit from 52 yards out, will kick off. Barry Redden and Drew Hill back deep for the Rams. Jody Davis has just homered for the Cubs in the second inning. They lead San Diego 3-0. Redden from the 5. Redden still on his feet. Barry Redden has to beat Luckhurst. Can't do it. No, it was not Luckhurst, was it? Yes, it was, the kicker, who brought him down. 37-yard return.
That was a big, big play by the Atlanta Falcons and Mick Luckhurst. You talk about a guy being pumped up after he kicks a 53-yard field goal. Watch this. Redden makes a heck of a run. He bounces off a bunch of guys. Now, right after this, there's only one guy left, and that's the kicker. After Luckhurst, there's no one else there. He has to make this play. I'll tell you, that is a heck of an effort by anyone.
More about Luckhurst in a minute. Rams first down their own 42-yard line. Dickerson and Goulman in the backfield, and Kemp back to throw. Going to go with a screen. And Goulman, and nothing doing. You saw Mick Luckhurst make that play. He is an excellent, or was an excellent rugby player, but he can do other things.
Well, you know, it was funny. I was watching in the off-season. I'm watching television, like one Saturday night or something, and I look, and I'm watching this PKA boxing. You know that kickboxing stuff they do? I watch all that stuff, wrestling, kickboxing, and I look up there. Luckhurst is in the ring. He's fighting a guy, kickboxing. So any guy who's goofy enough to kick is probably goofy enough to PKA, and he'll make a tackle for you on a play like that.
All makes sense. Here's Dickerson barreling into the secondary. Dickerson still on his feet. He gets into Falcon territory, but there is a flag down back at the line of scrimmage. Scott Case.
Well, they're going to be holding against the Rams. Yep, it is.
Tom Dooley, by the way, is the referee today. That's a 19-yard gain by Dickerson, wiped out.
I'll tell you, the way they threw that flag, the way the umpire is a guy who lines up behind the defensive line.
Number 60 offense. 2nd down.
The way he threw that flag, he looked like he was throwing it right at the guy who held it. It looked like he was throwing it right at Dennis Hara, because he threw it at Hara as Dickerson broke by Hara.
2-minute warning we get at Anaheim Stadium with the Falcons leading 10-0.
Let's talk about holding. Here's the guy. He's called the umpire, and he's in here with all these guys and all this action. Here's the guy he sees. The ball's coming by him. He throws the flag right at Dennis Hara. You see, he sees that he has his hand behind the shoulder pad. Now watch him right here. Here comes Dicker. Here comes blockers. He still catches that holding. Watch him. Whap! He throws it right at the guy that's doing the holding. They don't care.
Well, they got to call their name. 3rd down, 22 to go. Kemp fires. Intended for Henry Ellard. He just missed him. One thing about throwing the ball like that there's not much margin for error. You don't give the receiver much time to make any changes in his route or make any adjustments.
Yeah, that's the bad news. And then the good news, of course, because you throw it that way, the ball doesn't stay in the air a long time, so you don't have many deflections and or interceptions.
By the way, that 52-yard field goal by Mick Luckhurst was his longest ever. And it had plenty of room left. Eller does the motion maneuver. Here is Kemp back to throw. Steps up into the pocket. Fires for Farmer and has Farmer inside Falcon territory. James Britt made a stop. That's a heck of a throw there.
That's exactly what we were talking about. It didn't stay in the air very long. The Rams are going again without a huddle. But Farmer was just, boom, he's right there. He just had a half a step and he zipped that ball in there.
Rams have 2 timeouts remaining. Falcons show blitz as Kemp goes back. He's got lots of room and lots of time. He has a man open too. That's Drew Hill. And they'll move those sticks again as Hill comes up with a catch. 15-yard pickup. And the Rams on the move.
You have to be impressed with Jeff Kemp. Now he's doing this without a huddle. He's doing it all out of audible.
Now he's going to stop the clock. He gets it out in the direction of Farmer. Boy, watch him hum this thing.
Let's just watch this. And this took a heck of a throw here because really, as we watch James Britt, he's not in bad position. Here's Farmer. He just gets, look, just about a half a step right there, and that ball zipped in there before Britt can even get his hand up. Then he throws the other one out here to Drew Hill on the sideline, number 87. Hill does a nice job there of pushing Gerald Small up and then working back. You see what happened to Small? Small thought he was going deep. He made a break, and he slid. He fell down.
Small became small very quickly. Here's Kemp back to throw on second down. Fires wide open is David Hill. And David Hill gets inside the 15 to about the 14 before Scott Case brings him down. The Rams have only 2 timeouts remaining. 46 seconds in the first half left, and Kemp hasn't used the timeout yet. He yells to his right side. He's going to get one out of bounds pretty quick now. No place to go. Now he's got a place to go. Down at about the 12. Kenny Johnson came up to make the hit. The Rams have got to burn a timeout now, and they do. They're down to 1.
Jeff Kemp has some cobwebs in there he's trying to shake out, too. Look, he's not okay.
He's headed for the neutral corner for a moment. 10-0 Atlanta. Steve Dills, who was acquired by trade from Minnesota on the 17th of September. Here is Jeff Kemp over on the sideline.
He took a real shot right at the end of that scramble run by Kenny Johnson, 37. Watch Johnson come in there, right in the head.
And so Dills is the quarterback.
Kemp is still woozy on the sideline.
Dills, 6-year veteran from Stanford. Back to throw it. Fires through the hands of George Farmer. That's just anxiety. There's no way to catch that ball.
That's the thing. You know, it's a tough thing. You're standing there in the sideline. Steve Dills probably charting plays, helping the coaches, you know, and watching the game. And the next thing, Kemp is down, and they say, Dills, get in there. And you say, holy moly. You just go in there and throw that thing as hard as you can.
So it's Atlanta 10, the Rams nothing. 20 seconds left to play in the first half. The Rams have it 3rd down at the Atlanta 11. Think this is not a tough game. There's Jeff Kemp headed for the locker room. That's the equipment man, Don Hewitt. He's got a broken ankle. Fell down a couple of weeks ago in a game here at Anaheim Stadium. Broke his ankle. 3rd down. 7 at the 11. Goulden in motion. Dill fires outside the hill. He has stopped, hurls the ball out of bounds, gets out of bounds, does stop the clock. So that'll make it, well, he's about at the 5-yard line, maybe the 4. Let's see.
Hills is watching Hill all the way. Sees David Hill break on and out. Hits him right there. That wasn't a bad pass. He looks like he's relaxed a little. Hill made a smart move because he figured if he's not going to get out of bounds, at least he'll get the ball out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock.
That last lunge not only stopped the clock, it got him a first down. Ball's at the 3. It's first and goal from that point. Ron Brown in the game now. Stillman sets up to the left side. Dills fires way over the head of George Farmer. There's a penalty flag down in the end zone. Dills had Farmer for a touchdown.
I think it's going to be against the Rams in the end zone.
That's how he got so wide open, I guess.
That's right. He had pretty good protection there, but he really just threw that ball over Farmer's head. Farmer was wide open.
There must have been a pick. That must be the call. That's how Farmer got that wide open.
Pass interference, 89 offense, first down.
I think what happened, Ron Brown was trying to run an in or a slant down there, and he probably just pushed the defensive back because there was around the goal line, there was a bunch of bodies in there in contact.
Still first down.
That was a terrible throw, that last one. I mean, the guy was wide open, and he just, whoo, threw it right over his head.
11 seconds left to play in the first half. Falcons leading 10-0. Steve Dills, the quarterback, back to throw. Into the pocket and out of it. Better do something soon. Touchdown.
There's a late flag down here, Pat, on the sidelines.
It's against Atlanta, and it'll be a Ram touchdown.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 74 Atlanta. The touchdown's good. We penalized on the kickoff.
That was Mike Pitts. Now, maybe Dills, by running, took a little of that anxiety out. Look, he throws the ball, and then here comes Pitts. You see that right arm, that little bump he gave him with that right arm.
So they got the touchdown as an exuberant Steve Dills fires for the touchdown. They got it with 3 seconds left to go on the clock. Cromwell will hold. Lansford will kick. A bad-looking kick, but it was good, and it's 10-7. Let's go back and view that touchdown one more time.
Now, again, Dills here, when he starts back, he doesn't have anything here. He starts to feel a little pressure. He runs to the outside, but he's still looking. He's looking, and then he finds a receiver wide open in the end zone.
It was Henry Ellard and Jeff Kemp, who was being taken to the locker room, had the golf cart wait, and saw the touchdown, got up and celebrated, and now he continues his journey.
Said, with 3 seconds left to go, let me see what we do before I go in.
The word we got was that he had a concussion, but it looks like that might be revived. The scoring drive by the Rams then. Part of it done by Kemp, part of it done by Dills. 10 plays. 58 yards. The touchdown pass, 13 yards from Dills to Henry Ellard.
You know, with 3 seconds left to go, of course, they put that 15-yard roughness penalty on the kick. I'll tell you what's not bad is a little squib kick or onside kick or something and try and make a play here that could get you a score.
The clock will start when his foot hits the ball, so it'll have to be done quickly.
Well, it would have to be, but I mean, there's no need to kick the ball in the end zone. Just
right.
Something where the ball, you know, rolls around plenty and guys fly and bodies and the ball jumping up, picking up, running in, something.
Maybe you pick up a fumble. Rodney Tate and Willie Curran back deep for the Falcons. That's what he does. Half's over. And it started out without too many fireworks, but ends on a very exciting note. Atlanta 10, the Rams 7 at the half as they head for the locker room. Halftime score as we come to you live from Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California, is the Atlanta Falcons 10, the Los Angeles Rams 7. Rams scored with 3 seconds remaining in the first half. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. They scored, as I said, with 3 seconds remaining in the half to make it 10-7, but it was the time they didn't score, which could turn out to be a very important factor.
I think so. It seems like that took all the momentum out of the Rams early in the game when they got down there in the goal line and they were going third down. They didn't get it. Then they went for it on 4th down. This was great defense by the Falcons. We'll see Kuykendall and Curry both coming and hit Crutchfield, both jumping as he jumped, not getting in there. Now, I felt that play really turned the momentum around. Now, watch Curry right there. As Crutchfield dives, he dials, whap, and there's Kuykendall. No touchdown. I think the Rams at that time really had the momentum, and that play turned it around to the Falcons.
And then here's the touchdown, as I said, with 3 seconds to go in the first half.
And if the Rams ever got it back, they may have gotten it back on this play. We see Dills couldn't find anything open, scrambles out here to his right, finds it and gets a touchdown right there.
And the reason Steve Dills was playing and throwing was because Jeff Kemp, number 9 right there, was hit on the previous play, or 3 plays previous to that. They say he suffered a concussion. We'll just have to wait and see. We don't know yet as the two teams come back on the field right now. Underway with the Atlanta Falcons leading the Rams 10-7. There's Jeff Kemp, who was shaken up at the end of the first half. The word we just got a minute ago is that he is okay and will play in the second half. Here's how he got it.
Watch him running here. Now, here's Kenny Johnson, number 37, right there. You see Kemp is starting to go down. Johnson comes over the top, catches him right in the head.
Of statistical importance in the first half, I think, John, is the way the Falcon defense has been able to control, to a degree at least, Eric Dickerson.
That's what I think. You know, the Ram offense, really, without a Steve Bartkowski, they need Eric Dickerson. I mean, they're without a Vince Ferragamo, and they need him to get more than 32 yards. But look what... We have to run Eric Dickerson right and left, and we have to break him. We have to get that going this second half.
Dickerson got 2 on that first carry, so make it 2nd and 8 as Koeman came in motion as Dickerson goes again. Out to about the 26 before Buddy Curry takes him to the ground.
I'll tell you, that's what John Robinson was saying, and probably on the other side, Dan Henning was saying, look, Jeff Kemp is down. They're going with Steve Dills. They're probably going to concentrate more on running now. We have to key Eric Dickerson, watch him. He's going to probably get the play. He's probably going to get the ball most of the plays.
3rd and 3. 3rd down conversions. The Rams have been successful 5 out of 8 times. Henry Ellard is out. George Farmer is in. That's Farmer in motion. Dills to Dickerson. Dickerson on raw power. Right straight ahead. Gets the Ram first down. There's an injured Ram. It's Bill Bain. Maybe he's not hurt that badly. Slow in getting up.
They were going to say run right, run left, and run up the middle. Here's the 3rd down, run up the middle. You know, again, you think of Dickerson as a tailback, a one-back, a guy with quickness and speed, but he's a big guy. And you can tell when a big running back hits it and the piles go backwards, as that one did.
And he gets a rest now, and Barry Redden comes in along with Blaine Crutchfield. They're the 2 backs. Going to try to wear you down. This is Crutchfield over the right side, searching for about 3. David Fry, number 58, made the hit that brought him down.
Well, that's the thing. You know, ball control, run him, switch your backs, keep a Dickerson fresh, take him out, put a Redden in, and then keep switching those backs on him as the Rams are doing now, and keep running the ball. So the Falcons now, the thing they have to do is stop the run. They could put 9 guys up there in the line of scrimmage right now.
2nd and 6. Hill is out, and Otis Grant is split wide to the left. Dills. Outside Redden. Had a chance to catch that ball. James Britt was the defender. Here comes Dickerson back. There is John Misko loosening up.
You notice that every kicker has some little thing he kicks into now. You know, it used to be they just stand on the sideline. Now they all got some nets or machines or all kinds of deals.
Well, they spend so much time alone, they need something to console them. That was a small net, though.
That was a little net, yeah. That keeps the ball straight.
He used to just kick air.
Yeah, a lot of that. You'd see him jumping up in the air a lot.
Yeah. Falcons coming on a blitz. Dills back to throw. Under pressure. Dills can't get rid of it. Roy Harris, number 75, jubilant about the sack.
Of course, Dills was standing back there, and that gave Harris a chance. But see, the blitz in the middle, now that takes the center. Now, right here, Harris comes from Dills' right. He's looking downfield, and then Harris is there. Look at that. Those guys, they like those sacks. Whew, that's fun.
Something wrong now with the football, I think. The Rams saying, wait a minute. Mike McDonald is their snapper on kicks. Wants a different ball.
Now, sometimes they get a soft ball out there, and the punt snapper never wants to snap a soft ball.
Nor does the kicker want to kick a soft ball.
That's why the snapper doesn't want to snap it, because he knows the kicker doesn't want to kick it.
Nisco kicks a high ball. Billy Johnson back at his own 24. Ball is loose. Johnson lost the football. The Rams have it. Ivory Sully down to make the recovery. Vince Newsom made the hit that caused it.
Big play for the Rams here. It wasn't on the catch. White Shoes had the ball. Now watch, he gets hit right there. He starts to spin out, and as he's spinning, the ball drops out. Ivory Sully's alert. He sees it there, and he gets it underneath his feet. Luckily, he had a little help from one of his teammates that knocked it back up into his hands.
So he comes up with a recovery, and the Rams get the big break. They take it over. 1st and 10 at the Falcon 25. Dickerson and Crutchfield now, the two backs, and they'll try to wear them down some more, I'm sure. Crutchfield barrels inside the 20 to about the 18. Pridemore hit him at about the 21. He took him 3 more yards. Britt also involved.
Did you see that on that hit? That is really something when they come in there and they get him square, and you have to hit a guy like Crutchfield like that. He just carried about another 3 or 4 yards. Although, I'll tell you what, I bet if the Rams get down on the goal line again, I bet they give it to Dickerson instead of Crutchfield.
I bet so, too. Dickerson is back there with Crutchfield now. Steve Dills is the quarterback. Now Dills wants a timeout. So the Rams will have only 2 now in the second half. Same thing happened to them in the first half when they got down close. 10-7 Falcons. There's Lynn Kane, who took an IV at the half. It is very warm, up around 90 degrees on second down. It's Crutchfield. He lost the ball. Dickerson gets the rebound, and Dickerson is out of bounds inside the 5-yard line, out of bounds about the 2.5. Talk about your lucky bounces.
They were the perfectionists of that one in Oakland. He had that for a touchdown, but watch this, a hand to Crutchfield. He's the lead guy. Now watch right here. He didn't even get hit. As he was running, the ball just snapped out, and then right up to Dickerson, who finishes off the run. That was a lucky play for the Rams, unlucky for the Falcons.
That'll make it 1st and goal for the Rams at about the 2.5-yard line. The ball is in the hands for a moment of Kenny Johnson. He couldn't find the handle.
That was tough for Johnson. He was coming up to make a hit. He was getting ready to hit, and Crutchfield just fumbled it.
It's Crutchfield and Dickerson. And Crutchfield is hammered after a pickup of maybe a half yard. Buddy Curry came up to make the initial contact.
I'll tell you, Buddy Curry really is a middle linebacker. You know, he started as an inside guy in a 3-man line. They moved him outside last year. Dan Henning was saying last night he's an average outside middle linebacker. But inside, he can be a great middle linebacker. I've always liked this kid from the time he was a rookie. I mean, he'll seek it out and find it and then do something after he finds it, too.
6'4", 230. from North Carolina, 5-year veteran. From the 2, second down and goal. To Dickerson. And Dickerson high steps into the end zone. For the first time today, the Rams take the lead. 9:59 left to play third quarter. Rams 13, Atlanta 10. Lansford trying to make it 14-10 with Nolan Cromwell holding. True. They recovered the fumble at the Falcon 25. They took it in 4 plays. That makes it 14-10 Rams. Anaheim Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Rams have just taken the lead on that scoring drive. 4 plays after they recovered the fumble at the Falcon 25. Eric Dickerson scored on a 2-yard sprint around the right side. Rodney Tate and Willie Curran back deep for the Falcons, and Lansford's barefoot kickoff. High hanging, it's Tate at the 8.
That one's going nowhere.
A lot of dancing, but not much music.
One thing you can't do in a kickoff return is go right and left. You have to get it up the field. There's Eric Dickerson. Let's watch the touchdown again. You know, now earlier they had tried the lead back. They had tried Crutchfield inside, and they were not successful. So now they decided to go outside. They used Crutchfield as a blocker. Just get the ball to the outside quickly to Dickerson. Some good blocking right there. You see the Falcons down on the ground. Boom, Dickerson hits it in the end zone.
He doesn't need much. Hara got out in front. Lynn Kane. 4.5 innings. It's the Cubs 3. Home runs by Leon Durham and Jody Davis. Rick Sutcliffe on the mound for the Cubs. 3-0, 4.5. Football, Cincinnati 3, Houston 0, third quarter. It's 2nd and 3, and here's Jeff Kemp loosening up over on the sideline. Shaken up just before the end of the first half.
I think probably John Robinson didn't want to use him for one reason or another on that first drive and decided that he would the next time they get the ball.
2nd down and 4. For Stacey Bailey. Got it. Cromwell back there with him. The ball came loose, but the ground can't cause a fumble. The pass is complete. Bartkowski right on the money, 52 yards.
I'll tell you, we'll have to see that one again. Again, if the ball's not knocked out, the ground can't cause a fumble, but we'll have to see it's a zone defense. He gets a bump there by Irvin. Now he's man-to-man against Nolan Cromwell. He just outruns Cromwell. That's a heck of a throw, right over the shoulder. Now he's going down. It looks like he was down. The ground can't cause a fumble, and he was down before the ball came out.
The officials agree. Bailey never looked back until the last minute. Cromwell had no read. Kane off to the left side. Word on Gerald Riggs is that we will not see him today. He sprained his ankle on the last play of the game against San Francisco. And it was not an attempt by any means to be a secret by the Falcons, but it just was something that didn't get a lot of notoriety.
Well, it didn't. I think Dan Henning thought each day he would be better tomorrow, and then the tomorrows came to today, and he wasn't.
2nd and 5, the ball at the 18-yard line. Kane again. Hit at the line of scrimmage, lunges down to about the 15. He was hit by Collins, number 51st.
I'll tell you, Jim Collins really did hit that hole, didn't he? A week ago, Collins had 15 tackles against the Giants, and he was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He saw Kane coming, and he ran in that hole as quickly and as hard as Kane was going the other way. See if we can watch it here. Here's Collins. You see, he got a jump on that thing. You see, and he started in, and he's coming one way, and here comes Kane, and they met right in the line of scrimmage.
So it'll be a big 3rd and 3 situation for Steve Bartkowski. As the Falcons now don't get their offensive formation settled down to his satisfaction, and he takes a timeout. That means they have 2 left. That was Arthur Cox, the tight end, who was doing the shuffling around, and Bartkowski goes over to talk with Dan Henning. 6:53 left to play 3rd quarter. The Falcons on the move. The Rams in the lead, 14-10.
Bartkowski at quarterback.
Has a man. Bailey at the 1. Stacy Bailey. Eric Harris, the defender, but Bailey, uncanny ability to get open. Look how little he is. Skinny.
Yeah, he's tall. He's just pretty skinny. You know, when you only have 2% body fat, that's just all. You're just all skin and bones and muscle and stuff. Don't have much fluid in there.
2%. That's unbelievable.
They have these things where they can measure now. They just put things in their skin, and then it shows on a digital deal. They don't have to immerse them in water. You know, that's the old way they did to test that.
Ball on the 1-yard line.
That's bone and muscle inability. Kane to the outside, should get in, and does. Alfred Jackson got the key block in front of him.
I'll tell you, that doesn't look like a heck of a lot, but that is a run. When you can bring in, hold the whole defense, then outrun the whole defense, and no one touches you on the goal line, that is good running. I've always liked Lynn Kane.
That's something you can't teach. Here's Jackson's block.
See, he's out here now. He knows it's a run, so he just runs right into him. Now he turns Cromwell. You see him? He got him square into him. Then he turned him back inside. Lynn Kane saw it, set it up, and then bounced to the outside.
And Jackson cut down Collins.
He got a double dipper. He got 2. He got a safety and a linebacker.
Well, I've often heard you say, John, as Luckhurst goes for the extra point, that any time a back breaks clean like that, you have to have a good block from a wide receiver.
It will always be a block by the wide receiver.
Atlanta recaptures the lead, 17-14 in the 3rd quarter. Atlanta 17, the Los Angeles Rams 14. 6 minutes exactly left in the 3rd quarter. Atlanta scoring drives, 6 plays. They went 80 yards. The big one from Bartkowski to Bailey. They kept it almost 4 minutes, and Kane scored the touchdown, his 2nd of the day. Drew Hill. Good return to the 32. Next week, a doubleheader here on CBS. The Giants against Atlanta, or the Rams, New Orleans. And then the Dallas Cowboys go to RFK Stadium in Washington. Both of them now with a record of 4-2, tied for the lead in the NFC East. It all starts with the NFL today at 12:30 Eastern Time, and that's all next Sunday here on CBS. Jeff Kemp is back in the game at quarterback.
I kind of thought that would happen even before the Falcons scored. I thought the Rams planned to put Kemp back in on this series.
Kemp to Dickerson on a draw play. Outside the 35, about the 37, a pickup of about 6. Don Smith made the stop. Just to check again on the baseball at the end of 4.5. Still 3-0. 2 home runs by the Cubs, Jody Davis and Leon Durham.
There's the old kickboxer. He'll do anything. He'll kick a ball, kick a guy.
Wear a hat. Kick a 52-yarder. Kemp sprints out to his right. Kemp goes deep. He's got through Hill. Touchdown Rams. for the extra point with Cromwell holding as the Rams shoot back atop the scoreboard.
We were talking about Jeff Kemp and how he could throw the ball. Now watch Drew Hill here. We'll see Bobby Butler up there. Drew Hill just gets outside him. Something stopped Butler there, and then Pridemore was the safety who had to come over, and Drew Hill just ran right by him.
And Kemp got the ball there. 63-yard touchdown heave. 21-17 Rams. All right. 21-17. Rams recapture the lead. 5:06 left, third quarter. Fireworks really starting to take place. Rodney Tate and Willie Curran back deep. It is going to be Rodney Tate at the 5. Tate up the middle to the 29, where the Falcons will take over as David Kudip made the tackle.
You know what happened on that play? We'll see it. It's an organized sprint out. You see the guard pull. Kemp comes to the outside. Now, the Falcons were in a zone. They had the corner short, the safety deep. Drew Hill just outran the safety, Tom Pridemore. But I'll tell you, we're talking about Kemp's strong arm. I mean, he just threw that out there on the run to the right and boom, flipped it up over Hill's head.
Just flipped it. Bartkowski also owns the strong arm. Here's Lynn Kane over the right side, and he gets good yardage. Out to about the 34. Mel Owens tripped him up. Less than 5 minutes left, third quarter now, as the Rams take the lead over the Falcons, 21-17. Lynn Kane, 19 carries, 82 yards, 2 touchdowns. His first 2-touchdown game since 1980. 2nd and 5. He continues to get good yardage on first down. Makes life a lot easier when that gets done. Kane again. Barrels outside the 40. Falcon first down up to about the 44. Cliff Benson got an excellent block.
That was the same play that they scored the touchdown on. And we'll see Cliff Benson. He comes in from the outside. Now watch him. He comes in right there. You see the trap block right there that he makes on the nose tackle, Meisner. Kane is right in behind him. As Benson hits Meisner, boom, just goes right by him. That's the same play they scored the touchdown on.
Cliff Benson is a rookie and a good one. 6'4" and 235 from Purdue. Arthur Cox is the move man this time, and Bartkowski back to throw. To Cox in the middle. Into Ram territory. Arthur Cox is a load, too. Carl Eckern made the hit. Cox goes 258.
You say he's one of the strongest men on the Atlanta Falcon team, but as Dan Henning said, that's really not what you need as a tight end. He said, usually strength is not a weakness of a person. Sometimes strength can be someone's weakness if they can't do a lot of moving.
Arthur Cox can do a lot of moving. He can get sneaky deep, is what Henning said. Kane kicking his hole to the left. Gets the first down. Mel Owens again on the tackle. That was Bill Bain looking like Lawrence of Arabia a minute ago. It is hot down on the field, about 90 degrees when the game began, and I think it's warmer than that now.
Well, like Bill Bain, when you weigh 315 pounds, you generate a little more body heat, too. You've got stuff working through there.
Think we ought to give him that test that we were talking about giving Stacey Bailey?
That would be an interesting test. I'll tell you, I bet he would grade pretty well on it. I bet he would.
His arm weighs as much as Stacey Bailey. Cox is in motion. Bartkowski tucks it away and goes on a scramble down to the 42. Scramble for him is more like a lunge. Mel Owens made the stop, but he still got about 3 yards.
I'll tell you one thing, those linebackers, when they see that quarterback running, they really like to finish him off. Did you see Carl Eckern? Watch the effect of these linebackers. Collins is 50, Eckern is 55, but watch when they see that run. That's just like smelling something. Watch Eckern here say, oh boy, I want to get me one of these guys. I'll tell you, they know that they aren't going to give them a lot of moves. They just go paint to paint.
Something about when you see the quarterback running. You don't get that many shots at him. When you do get one,
you find another gear.
To Kane. Kane made a good move at the line of scrimmage. Gets down to about the 35-yard line. Nolan Cromwell stopped him. He's about a yard shy of a first down, and he goes over 100 yards.
You know, that was the same play. Again, the same play that they just got the big gain on, the same play they made the touchdown on. That, again, was Cliff Benson coming in motion, trapping the nose tackle. That time, Kane had to wait a little at the line of scrimmage for Benson to get in front of him.
And he did it well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. You see, here you'll see from the outside the guy coming to the inside right there. You see the block in there, and he had to wait for it to happen and then come. Not a bad run.
Not bad at all. Now they go with 3 tight ends as Al Matthews comes in. Bartkowski's going to go for the bundle. If he has a chance, he doesn't get the first down. He bounced to about the 40. Mel Owens grabbed him around the legs. Bartkowski is going to be a foot or so shy.
A lot of this is going to depend on the spot, whether they put it where his knee went down or where he put the ball. Then it's going to be short, as you say. Now what is Dan Henning going to do? You're too far. I think it would be another 52-yard field goal. Or you go for the first down. Looks like to me he's going for the first down.
Either that or he better take a timeout. He's going.
And I think they are going to waste another timeout. That can come back to haunt you. It's the end of the quarter.
That is the end of the quarter. With the score, the Rams 21, Atlanta 17. And we now pause for a word from your local station.
Sponsored by your Toyota dealer and the all-new heavy-duty 1-ton truck. Bud Light, the light beer with a taste that's satisfying but never filling. And by RCA, creators of video technology that excites the senses.
Rams 21, Atlanta 17. As Dan Henning looks on from the sideline, his Falcons going on short yardage. 4th down. Bartkowski has a pass completion that gets the first down. It's White Shoes Johnson, number 81, who comes up with it. Gary Green, the defender.
Hey, that's not a bad time to run this. We see White Shoes Johnson. He comes in motion across. Now he's just going to run. He knows he only needs a couple yards for a first down. Just take that quick out of control, under control. Be sure you catch the ball and get the first down. Especially when it's 4th down. There's no room for error there.
That guy's amazing. 9-yard pickup. Bartkowski's hit 10 in a row. Stacey Bailey in motion. Kane, left side, inside the 25, about the 23. Carl Eckern on the stop. Rams 21, Atlanta 17. He's 2nd and 7 as Kane got 3. Just starting quarter number 4.
I'll tell you, Steve Bartkowski doesn't look like he has any effect of that flu that he had on Friday night. Got worse on Saturday. Didn't practice yesterday. Last night, Dan Henning didn't know if he could play. Said he felt better today, and he really hasn't shown any effect.
By the way, those 10 passes in a row that he has hit tie an Atlanta all-time record. Here's Kane trying to pick his way straight ahead, and there's no place to pick. Jim Collins up to make the stop quickly.
Well, again, that was the same play, and the Rams finally figured it out and got it stopped. Where Cliff Benson comes in motion. Watch him. He's going to come out. Here comes Benson here. He's 87. That's the play they've been running. Now, he's going to lead up right there in the nose tackle. You see him? His nose tackle's down, but he stuffed the hole. Meisner stuffed the hole. Kane had to wait, and then here comes a bunch of blue jerseys.
That's a good job by a nose tackle. That's all you can hope for.
It is. You just grab grass and hold on.
3rd down. Bartkowski trying to hit his 11th consecutive pass. Johnson was in motion left. Bartkowski sprints right. Throws low. String comes to an end. But a flag is down. Penalty marker down. Eric Harris was the defender. He was throwing in the direction of White Shoes Johnson and Stacey Bailey.
You ever notice on that type of thing, you always see a lot of pointing right after play. The offensive guys point to the defense. The defensive guys point to the offense. This one is against the Rams. Let's see if we can pick it up here. It looked like it was pretty good defense. Bailey, as he started to hook, he fell down. The ball was thrown short.
First down.
Now, that can't be pass interference. I think that's probably defensive holding somewhere.
So that pass won't count against Bartkowski's streak. He's still got 10 in a row.
I think the defender was on Bailey before the ball got there.
Arthur Cox and Vincent moving around. Bartkowski draw play to Kane. Kane struggling to the 9. Reggie Doss on the stop. Those guys, Cox, Benson, do a lot of moving around. And a lot of those people were not involved or not thought about in the initial Atlanta scheme. They just had to use them because of injuries in training camp. And they found out they were getting better performance than they had from the previous people.
Well, and then they just kept playing. They played themselves into a position. And as Dan Henning was saying last night, that the Atlanta Falcons are better because of that. A better offensive team, he said.
Second down at the 9. Bartkowski to Kane. Kane stays on his feet. Touchdown, Lynn Kane, 3rd of the day. Boy, what a job he's done.
I'll tell you, the job that he did on that play is that the Ram defenders were all there, and Kane just kind of held them for a second. They all thought they had him, and he just ran right through them. Watch it here now. It looks like there's a Ram wall as Kane's going to get the ball. And watch, he's going to turn up right here. He has Rams outside him, inside him. He just runs right through tackles. That was Nolan Cromwell. He just ran right through Cromwell.
That's one heck of an effort.
He's been given a heck of an effort out here all day today.
3rd touchdown of the day for Lynn Kane. Luckhurst hits the extra point. And Atlanta recaptures the lead, 24-21. We have 12 minutes, 6 seconds left to play.
Luckhurst will kick for the Falcons. Drew Hill.
Pat Summerall and John Madden watching this seesaw battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the Rams. 24-21 it is. The scoring drive by Atlanta. A good one. Barry Redden will field Luckhurst's kick at the 6. Get upfield. Redden hit down at about the 22. Jeff Jackson with a hit. Flag is on the play.
Let's watch that touchdown again by Lynn Kane. Here's Lynn Kane. He's going to start out here, but he makes a little move right in there and then back into the end zone. Now watch the effect that he has on the defender. He gets a good block by his guard and tackle there. They fire out. They do a nice job on that scoop there. Now watch a little hold there. You see that? He put his head down, and then he bounced back out to the left, ran right through Cromwell. But that was a heck of a move. He kind of stopped.
Really?
Put his foot into the right, and then back out to the left.
I again think those wide splits that they take up front have had their effect on the Ram defense.
That's the thing, the splits between Thielman, the left guard, and Mike Ken, the left tackle. That spreads that Ram defense out.
Kemp faces blitz and is hit from behind. Fumbled. Falcons think they have it. The celebration goes on. Kemp never saw Kenny Johnson coming.
I'll tell you what happened, Pat. He ran into the referee. I think the referee could have caused the fumble on that play because Kemp hit the referee and was trying to recover, and then the Falcons got him and got the fumble. Let's see if we can see it. Now watch, he's going to roll out to the right. You see the referee in the black hat back there? You see he fakes. Now watch him right here. He's starting to run. You see him there, hit off the referee? And then right after that, it looks like no, he had control. He was trying to throw the ball, and he had the ball out there.
He never saw Kenny Johnson coming from behind.
He did hit the referee, but Kenny Johnson caused the fumble.
And Fulton Kuykendall made the recovery. By the way, that touchdown by Lynn Kane, his 3rd of the day, ties a Falcon individual record, which is held jointly by Alfred Jenkins, William Andrews, and Lynn Kane. Lynn Kane did it against the Oakland Raiders in John Madden's first game as an analyst. Here's Kane again, nothing doing.
Tell you, Lynn Kane has a record of 3, has 3 today, and is in a very good position to get a 4th.
He got very little that time as the Ram defense reacted quickly. And they put
There's
in
Fulton Kuykendall. Now, you talk about a linebacker with eyes. Look at that guy, 54, right there. You don't think he's a linebacker? Turn around here.
He looks like he resents the fact that the offense gets a chance to be on the field. He wants to be in there.
Epton Fraser.
I don't want him chasing me. Second down and 11. Bartkowski fires. Arthur Cox made the tackle, but there's a penalty marker back at the line of scrimmage, and that would usually
That'll usually be holding right against Atlanta, and probably against the right tackle, Brett Miller. As it came from the side, and that guy on the side watches the tackle.
Pass was complete
60 offense. Second down.
to Arthur Cox. It was the right tackle, Brett Miller.
Right, and usually when that official calls it from there, the guy who's on the line of scrimmage on the sideline, that's the only guy he watches.
That moves it back. It's still second down at the 24, second and 21 from the 24. Falcons leading 24-21, trying for more. Kane is the lone setback. Billy Johnson is set up behind the tight end to the right. Bartkowski is down in the hands of George Andrews. Andrews came on the blitz as Bartkowski looked for Bailey. The third sack by the Ram defense. They have really risen to the occasion on this drive.
You know, that's one thing, the element of surprise there. The Rams are not a blitzing defense. They're a pretty pure, vanilla defense. And we see Andrews there. You see him? He started like a delayed blitz. He started inside, he stopped, then he came around to his right and ended up outside, and a sack on Bartkowski.
So that'll make it 3rd and 30. Thielman tried to get out of the mess up in front to get out to pick up Andrews, but he couldn't. That delayed blitz confused everybody. 3rd and 30. Line of scrimmage back at the 33. They were in field goal range. Now they're out of it. Bartkowski on the hop to Johnson. Again, he was under pressure, that time by Youngblood. They're probably going to have to punt.
Well, he does have one 52-yarder. This would be a 52-yarder. It'd be about a 50-yarder from here. Watch Youngblood. He'll come from the left-hand side of the screen. You see him, and he hits Bartkowski just as he throws the ball, and Bartkowski skips one in there. Yeah, they are going for a field goal.
Luckhurst will go from just outside 50 yards away. He hit from 52 earlier.
Hey, he hit from 52. He made a big tackle, a big touchdown-saving tackle. He's pumped up. He can get it there.
He did get it there. And he got it through. 50 yards officially. So Luckhurst has hit from 52 and from 50. And the Falcons stretched their lead to 27-21 with 10-17 left to play in the game. The Falcons got the ball on the fumble, lost 20 yards in 3 plays, wound up settling for a 50-yard field goal. So that's your scoring drive, -20. Luckhurst's kick is handled by Henry Ellard. Ellard is chased, gets away from one, is knocked out of bounds by the Falcons' Al Matthews. Hustling down quickly.
This is what it's like for a big defensive lineman to have to cover kicks. The good thing is that you can throw those little defensive backs and backs around. The bad news is you have to run a long way on a hot day.
And your body fat goes down.
Let me just think of what else threw it down.
That was Newsom. Vince Newsom that he threw to the ground. From the 13-yard line, 1st and 10. Gooman, the blocker. Dickerson, the ball carrier. He gets outside the 13 to about the 18. Kenny Johnson made the tackle. He's had a busy, big day. Less than 10 minutes left to play now. Atlanta 27, the Rams 21. And those Falcons have never won. These Falcons, I should say, have never won in Southern California. Bill Bain is down. 315 pounds, prone. (27-21). Jeff Kemp, the quarterback.
Jeff Kemp, the quarterback.
9.5 minutes left to play. Koeman in front of Eric Dickerson. Second down, 6 yards. Dickerson out of bounds. Should be enough for a first down. Fulton Kuykendall knocked him out of bounds. Bill Bain over on the sideline.
Looks like something wrong with his right foot.
Yep. Think about what it's got to support.
In fact, his body could sue his feet for non-support.
From the 24, Rams have it 1st and 10. Dickerson still alone, setback. Koeman flanked to the left. Kemp back to throw. Outside, Dickerson. Dickerson still on his feet. Still on his feet. They finally got him out of bounds, but they never got him down. 17 yards picked up.
I think if I were the Rams right now, I think that's what I would do, is just keep getting the ball to Dickerson. I'm sure that he's saying right now, he said, the people here didn't come to see the running back Lynn Kane. They came to see this running back, me, Eric Dickerson. Make moves like this. Get open. Make another move. Burst through tackles. Turn up the field. Give a shot to Kenny Johnson. Stuff like that. That's what they came here to see. Not Lynn Kane score 3 touchdowns.
The word on Bill Bain is that he has a bruised calf muscle. Will probably be back. He's probably upstanding now, and he is, in fact. Kemp chased. Finally unloads. In the direction of Dickerson. The Falcons think he should be called for intentionally grounding, but Dickerson was in the area, number 29, and he's eligible.
I tell you, this Falcon defensive line is starting to harass Kemp a little more now, and they're coming up with big plays. That play, they made him throw it away. The last series, they got the fumble off of Kemp, and they're starting to make some things happen on that front group.
It'll be 2nd and 10 from the Ram 41. Clock is stopped now with 9:14 left to play. Falcons 27, Rams 21. Jeff Kemp, the quarterback. Ellard in motion, and Kemp goes back to throw. This time he has time. Plenty of time. Gets it out to Mike Koeman. About a 5-yard gain, maybe 6. James Britt, the Atlanta defender. Just to update the baseball situation, it's Chicago 3, San Diego 2 in the top of the 7th. Padres just scored 2 in the 6th. 3rd and 4 here. Big down facing Jeff Kemp and the Rams.
3rd and 4. Ball on the 46.
Line of scrimmage is the 47 as Kemp drops. Outside David Hill. First down. Kenny Johnson brought him down, but he got the first down.
Did you see what David Hill tried to do? He tried to slap Johnson with his left hand and knock him off the tackle and break a big one. You watch here. He catches the out. Now watch his left hand. You see that? He tried to slap him off and knock him by, and as he did that, he slipped to the ground. That's why he's hitting the ground.
David Hill, of course, has a brother who works for us at CBS, Jim Hill, sports broadcaster here in Los Angeles. And he has a cousin who is a cornerback on the same team, the Los Angeles Rams. Back to Dickerson. Dickerson cuts back, but Dickerson could be gone. Eric Dickerson to the end zone. Seven-yard touchdown run by Eric Dickerson. He has 18 carries, has gained 107 yards.
He knew it was just a matter of time that he had to do something. That was a heck of a cutback. Started out to the left, cut back, landed half the field.
Lansford with Cromwell holding. And the Rams lead by 1.
Watch the cut that Eric Dickerson makes here. He starts out to the left. Watch him plant that left foot and then straight back with his right foot, back across the grain of the defense. They're starting to pursue to the right. He cuts back to the left, takes it 47 yards.
And into the end zone, and the Rams have the lead again by 1. The Rams 28, Atlanta 27. Atlanta led 10-0 at one time. The Rams scored with 3 seconds to go in the first half on the pass from Dills to Ellard. Got themselves back into the game, and since then it's been seesaw. Rodney Tate at the 3. Slipped down at about the 14, 13. That's where the Falcons will take over. Now the job becomes very difficult for the Falcons' offensive line. Pass protection is the name of the game. Eric Dickerson. Boy, you got to be strong, you know, just to carry that bandit.
As I said, you have to have good balance just to not tip over. I'll tell you, the whole game boils down to right here.
Crowd really coming to life, encouraging the Ram defense. They lead by 1 point. This is the 4th time today that the Falcons have started inside their own 15-yard line. Here's Kane. Kane gets good yardage. He gets about 6. Carl Eckern made the stop. Busy day for Lynn Kane. Atlanta Falcons, their last 6 possessions. They started at their own 9, their own 36. They fumbled a punt. They started at their own 19, their 29, and the Rams 13. They got those results.
Of course, that's a lot better than they had last week. You know, against the 49ers, they were inside the 20-yard line 5 times, and they only had 1 score, and that was a field goal.
2nd down and 4. Kane got 6. Cox in motion. Bartkowski back to throw. Alfred Jackson had it right there.
Jackson was trying to turn around and run before he caught that ball.
The Falcons can move the football inside the opponent's 20-yard line. The first 4 games of this year, they scored 9 out of 9 times. The last 20 games, or since Dan Henning has been the head coach, 44 out of 52 times they've been inside the 20. Then last week against San Francisco, they only scored 1 out of 5 times they were inside the 20. They got a safety and a field goal. They have a big 3rd down facing them right here as Bartkowski comes out. Arthur Cox had it knocked away at the last minute. George Andrews back there with him.
I'll tell you, the Falcons had to get exactly what they want. They got Cox right, man-to-man on George Andrews. He gets had the ball been thrown just a little longer, it would have been easier, but Cox had the ball. It was a heck of an effort, though, by number 52, George Andrews.
But you're right, Arthur Cox had the ball.
I know it, and the throw was right there. Andrews was chasing. He had to chase him about 25 yards before that happened.
Picked up a lot of ground. Ralph Giacomo. Henry Ellard. And Leroy Irvin. Back deep. Good kick by Giacomo. Chases Irvin. Juggles it for a minute. Breaks 1 tackle. Gets outside the 33-yard line, and now the burden falls on the Falcon defense. Giacomo, fine kick, 58 yards. 9-yard return, so a net of 49. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes begins it. Murder, she wrote. And then, of course, the presidential debates. Long awaited. Al Matthews is the injured Atlanta Falcon player. One of their tight ends are H-backs. College football comes back here on CBS next Saturday. It'll either be Illinois or Ohio State. for Washington against Stanford. That starts at 3:30 Eastern Time here on CBS. Those of you in the West will see Washington, Stanford. Those of you in the East, Illinois, Ohio State. Chance to view Heisman Trophy candidate Keith Byers, who is really something if you haven't seen him. Attendance here today at Anaheim Stadium, 47,832. See if we can figure out what happened to Al Matthews.
He's number 49. We'll see him right there in the right part of the screen. You see he just came in there. He's making a hit. You see him come in, and then he comes back out. You see him go down and grab that right shoulder.
Matthews is off.
You know, sometimes if you get hit on the right part of the shoulder, it just sends a stinging sensation all the way down your arm.
Just goes numb. You can't tell what's really wrong. From the 33-yard line, the Rams take over. 6:24 left to play. Rams on top by 1 point, 28-27. Handoff straight ahead. Not much doing. It's Mike Truman. Let's check out the scoreboard while we have just a moment. San Diego 21, Green Bay 21. Third quarter. Packers have been staggering around a little bit. Cincinnati 10, Houston 3. Houston can't get anything going. That matchup at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, Raiders 14, Seattle 14. That figured to be a good one. Still 3-2 in the 7th inning in baseball, that is. The Cubs over the Padres.
Ball 36.
2nd and 7. Newman in motion. Kemp back. Time. Looking at David Hill. And just throwing it just out of his reach as Kenny Johnson was close by at the scene of action.
I think Jeff Kemp thought that he could get that same thing that he did, that little out there to David Hill. And Hill was saying, geez, on that last one, had I not slipped, I would have had a big play. So they probably talked about that and said, let's come back to it again. At that time, Kenny Johnson was right on him.
Farmer goes out wide to the left. Otis Grant is the other wide receiver. He split wide to the right. Now, Atlanta takes a timeout, and now they only have one left. I'm not sure what the problem was there, but they weren't satisfied with their defense. Kuykendall goes over to talk to Dan Henning. 28-27, Rams over Atlanta. The Falcons didn't feel that they had the correct defense. Mike Barber comes checking in along with Kemp. Atlanta down to one timeout now. The Rams have two. Rams leading by a point, 28-27, 3rd and 7. Dickerson in the backfield. Moves a little bit deeper. Back to Dickerson. Rams will have to punt. They got the right defense working that time. Eric Dickerson just broke that big 47-yarder for a touchdown. That time the Falcon defense was able to contain him as John Robinson looks on as his team holds a 1-point lead. John Misko back to punt. Falcons have the dangerous Billy Johnson back to return the kick. High kick. Very high. Johnson gets away from the first man. A couple of really good blocks, and now go the penalty markers. Ivory Sully really got popped by somebody. 42-yard punt, 4-yard return, so it's a net of 38. Tom Dooley is the referee. Illegal block. So they'll move Atlanta back. They are certainly capable of striking from any kind of range. Falcons have a man down.
Number 53, receiving team, first down.
Thomas Benson called for the illegal block. Not sure what the problem is. We'll try to find out. That's Billy Johnson, however, who is down. Final score is Washington 35, Indianapolis 7. Redskins 4-2 now and waiting for Dallas to visit RFK next week. Jets beat Kansas City 17-16. Improved their record to 4-2. Philadelphia beat Buffalo by 10, 27-17. Eagles now 2-4. New England 17-16 over Cleveland. They're 4-2, chasing Miami. Tampa Bay in a high-scoring affair, 35-31 over Minnesota. And the Buccaneers even their record at 3-3. Denver 28, Detroit 7. Broncos playing tough defense. The Bears behind the record-breaking performance of Walter Payton, 20-7 over New Orleans. And the Bears improved their record to 4-2. New Orleans drops to 3-3. Miami 31-7. They remain unbeaten. Dolphins looking stronger every week. That was in Pittsburgh. St. Louis over Dallas as Neil Lomax and Roy Green both had big days. 31-20. Danny White did come into the game at the end of the game for the Cowboys, replacing Gary Hogeboom. Now, next week's games here on CBS. First of all, the Giants will visit Atlanta, and the Rams go to New Orleans. Then the second half of the CBS doubleheader features the Dallas Cowboys against the hated Redskins in Washington at RFK. Both of them now with records of 4-2. Washington got off to a terrible start. They were 0-2. Now they've won 4 in a row. The Padres have tied the score. It's 3-3 in the 7th, and the Padres are still batting as Billy Johnson is helped off the field. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to White Shoes.
Well, it's something with his right leg, and as we see him here, he's making a move there, and it's his own guy. You see what happened? His own guy came in and caught that right leg. He had the right foot planted in the ground, and his own guy hit his leg. Boom.
There's Rodney Tate, who fell into him. The Padres now have taken a 5-3 lead. Bottom of the 7th. Over the Cubs. Lynn Kane comes out for Atlanta outside the 20 to about the 21-yard line. Nolan Cromwell came up to make the tackle and stop him.
You know, here in this situation, only being down by 1 point, 5 minutes to go, that's still plenty of time. There's no reason for the Atlanta Falcon offense to panic here. They don't have to do anything or force anything. They can just play their offense.
That's the situation. Clock running at 4.5 minutes left to play. Rams leading by a point. Lynn Kane bounces out. He is close to a first down. He got 6 on the first carry. He may have enough this time for the first down.
I think he's going to be just a little short, but what a day Lynn Kane is having.
Best day he's ever had.
3 touchdowns already. Gerald Riggs is out, couldn't play today. Of course, they lost William Andrews earlier. But look at the day this guy's had.
30 carries, 133 yards, 3 touchdowns. A career high for Lynn Kane.
He still has some more work to do.
3rd and short. He doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Jack Youngblood came in to make the stop, and Kane is stopped short of a first down. Now, do you punt or do you go for it?
And I'll tell you, that was a great play by Jack Youngblood. I think the Falcons are going to go for it. But watch, he takes an inside move on Brett Miller. You see Miller was blocking straight ahead. Jack Youngblood took that quick inside move, and he caught Lynn Kane in the backfield before he could get started.
They still need that yard. Kane is still the setback. Bartkowski threw on 3rd and short before. Now it's 4th, and he's going to throw again. Bartkowski has his first down as he throws on 4th and short. It's Stacey Bailey. No, it isn't. It's number 83, Floyd Hodge, who comes up with the catch.
I'll tell you, that's the confidence that you have in your quarterback and your throwing game to call this play. It looked like he was trying to hit the tight end in the slant. Hodge came in motion, went to the outside, and then cut back inside. He only needed a yard, so he ran about a 2-yard pattern.
Billy White Shoes Johnson will have a report on what the problem is in just a minute. They're icing his knee. Falcons have a first down, their own 29-yard line. Bartkowski is going to throw on first down. Fires outside. It's Hodge again, and Hodge is on his feet and streaking. Floyd Hodge knocked out of bounds by Nolan Cromwell. But another Falcon first down. They just need to get in range for Luckhurst, who's hot today. A
Tell you, these Falcons have some good young wide receivers. They have Bailey, Alfred Jackson. Hodge comes in now, a third-year guy. You know, there's been a lot of slipping on there, but Hodge makes a nice move on that one. Comes back, Gary Green misses him, turns the ball up the field, and darn near tightrope up there, but Nolan Cromwell hit him out of bounds.
They move into Ram territory. The Falcons do at the 45, 1st and 10. Clock running. Clock stopped now with 2:25. That's Bailey in motion. This is Kane straight ahead, and again he gets about 6. Luckhurst loosening on the sideline. That's the one thing that John Robinson said yesterday he feared most. 2nd down and 4.
That's right, which would mean that first down run and a gain of 6 yards. Now here's a guy pumped up. Mick Luckhurst, he's only about, no, not him, not John Robinson, but Mick Luckhurst. He only weighs about 180 pounds, but right now he's pumped up to about 250. He's like King Kong. Boom!
Does rugby, does football, makes tackles, kickboxing. Warm, beautiful day in Southern California. Ram fans right now a little settled and a little concerned, and well, they should be. It's 2nd and 5 from the 40. 2 minutes to play. Falcons with 1 timeout, the Rams with 2. Kane the lone setback. Kane is down. George Andrews for a big loss, and another big 3rd down coming up for the Falcons. The preliminary diagnosis, by the way, on Billy White Shoes Johnson is that he has a sprained knee, and Lynn Kane is still on the ground. That, I think, is more fatigue than anything else.
I'll tell you, George Andrews has come up with some big plays in this 4th quarter. He got a big sack there the last time the Falcons got down there, and he comes up with a big loss here. Came off a blitz, and again, I think the Rams don't blitz much. They're not a blitzing defense, and when they do, they have that element of surprise. And they get that guy in the backfield, and in that time, they got Lynn Kane before he could get started.
Lynn Kane has carried the ball 33 times. That's 2 carries shy of an Atlanta record, and now he needs a rest. And now they take their last timeout. Kane goes over to the sideline along with Bartkowski. Cliff Austin has come in to take Lynn Kane's place.
You know, the Falcons are at the 45 now, and the way Luckhurst is kicking, all they need is about 10 more yards to get in his range, and maybe 20 to be real safe. So they don't have to think. They don't have any timeouts left. They have 1 minute and 38 seconds. They don't have to think of getting the ball in the end zone. They don't have to think of forcing anything. They can just methodically go about it and think in terms of 10 or 15 yards.
Right now, they also have to be concerned, John, about getting that first down. It's 3rd and 10 now. And no timeouts remaining, and how they get it done is very important.
Well, they need that. They need the first down, and then they can just run out the clock darn near.
Luckhurst has hit twice over 50 yards, once from 52.
And I'm sure on the sideline that they were talking about in terms of 2 passes, because from 45 yards, they couldn't kick a field goal because that'd be 45 plus 17. So if they don't complete this 3rd down pass, they would go for it again. So really, they can think in terms of 2 plays here to get the first down.
Just to update one more time the baseball situation. Of course, this is sudden death in baseball. The inning is finally over. The Padres got 4 runs, and they lead 6-3 over the Cubs. Rams showing blitz. Austin has taken Kane's place, and Bartkowski gets rid of it. Great catch, and now they say incomplete.
Now, this will be the 3rd time that the Falcons have to go for it on 4th down. The first 2, he was able to throw shorter type passes, but now he's going to have to get the ball up beyond 10 yards. Watch this. I think he gets hit again. Look, watch. Just as he's throwing, so he throws that ball low, and it bounces in there.
That was Tim Tyrell who came up with the almost catch. A rookie from Northern Illinois, and here's the play. 4th down. They need 10 from the Ram 45, Bartkowski. Stacey Bailey in motion. Rams put the pressure on. Bartkowski steps up. He has Stacey Bailey wide open and gets the first down. What a clutch pattern and what a clutch throw by Bartkowski. How did Bailey get so open?
You know what happens? The Rams were in a zone defense. Now, when you're in a zone defense, you're looking back at the quarterback. You see him looking back at the quarterback, and then you react to the quarterback's eyes. He looks inside. They let Bailey get to the outside. No one saw him out there, and then, boom, Bartkowski gets the ball out to him.
Bailey's 7th reception of the day for 158 yards, a minute 28. Plenty of time remaining.
And that's pretty good quarterbacking, too. When you have a quarterback in one game 3 times has to make a play on 4th down, and he does it all 3.
Check the timeout situation. The Falcons do have 1 remaining. Here is Kane again. Stopped after a pickup of about a yard. They'll be conservative now and leave it all to Luckhurst.
Well, you know, with a minute and 15 seconds, I've always liked to take a shot at it first. Don't force it, but take a shot where you go to the end zone. If your guy doesn't get it, it's out of bounds, because that way you have that shot at the touchdown plus the field goal. If you just run out the clock and go to the field goal, that's the only thing you have. And, of course, a guy can miss a field goal.
They are about to put the Rams in a situation where they start having to use some of their timeouts. It's Kane again. Over the right side. 35 carries for Lynn Kane. That ties William Andrews. And now the Rams do take a timeout with 39 seconds remaining. Los Angeles 28, Atlanta 27. Both teams now have 1 timeout remaining.
I'll tell you what, all the things that Steve Bartkowski has done, Stacey Bailey's had a good day. The defense has been aggressive, but if the Falcons win this game, they have to give the game ball to Lynn Kane.
Oh, I think so. No question about it.
When the guy comes out and gives this effort that he gave today, they give him intravenous at halftime, and I'll tell you, he's a man.
Well, it's hard to believe, John, that he's, as you said before, 3rd in line if everybody's healthy.
Yeah, you know, but he was one of those backs who could do everything. He's a good runner, as he's proven today. He's a good pass receiver. He's a good blocker. He can do all those things, but when you have a William Andrews and then you go out and your #1 draft choice is a Gerald Riggs, then you go to a 1-back offense and a new coach, you just get the door shut on you, and then Andrews goes down and Riggs goes down, and they open the door again and say, come on back in, Len.
Well, mentally, it's a tough thing to accept. Next week here on CBS, don't forget, Atlanta will entertain the Giants. The Rams will go to New Orleans to entertain the Saints. And then John Madden and I will be at RFK Stadium in Washington for the matchup between the Cowboys and the Redskins, who just really don't care for each other.
That's always a battle.
That's Hodge in motion. The draw play to Lynn Kane, and Kane barrels down inside the 20. He got a first down for the Falcons. Mel Owens tripped him up, but another good run by Lynn Kane. An all-time Falcon record just set for the number of carries. And the Rams are going to have to take another timeout. Or if they don't, the Falcons will send on Luckhurst. And here he is.
I think the Falcons are just going to let the clock run down. No, I guess they're going to kick it without a timeout.
8 seconds all remaining. They better get something done here pretty quick. There's the snap. Luckhurst aim is good. Falcons 30. That's the end of the game. The Rams 28. Mick Luckhurst from 37 yards out. Another look is certainly worthwhile.
I'll tell you, the clock is rolling. They didn't take a timeout. They just go out there and set up. Luckhurst, no doubt, he just kept his head down and popped that thing right through the middle of the uprights. I'll tell you, he had a big day. Not only those field goals, but maybe his biggest play, he had a 52, a 50, a game-winning field goal here. And his biggest play could have been that tackle he made on the kickoff. He deserves being carried off.
He hit from 52, 50, and 37 yards did Mick Luckhurst, and Atlanta wins its first game ever in California against the Rams. They beat the Rams 30-28. And that's the final score. The Falcon record jumps to 3-3, and the Rams are even at that record also, 3-3. Stick with us. We'll be sending you back to New York for an update on scores and highlights of what happened today.